What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today is the 28th of January, in the final stretch of the month here. Going over the price action on Nasdaq 100 for Wednesday. It's now a little bit past midnight when I'm recording this video. Didn't get to do it much earlier, but let's get right into it. So today, bit of a weird day. Took a few trades, just some small little scalps. Let me see if I can bring up the executions. Where is it? I think I've ended the day with like $30 profit or something like that. Let's see. It would be all the way over here. These are the two scalps that I took. Took a little entry right here, came out here. Took a sell right here, came out here. Took a buy, small position. When the New York Open came, went up, came back down, and I just took it out when I closed out the sale that I took there. So those were the two trades that I took. Now let's start with the higher time frame. Right here, we still cranking higher. So gold gap up, still pushing higher. Nasdaq, we still cranking higher. So we had a gap up and we still just pushing for the highs. That's gold, Nasdaq. So we push higher. So today's candle we came down a bit, filled the gap up, and we still close at the higher today. Today's candle manipulated down, and see we're trying to run up still. So early out we took out the previous daily high. So we traded back down into this new day opening gap right here. And we just continued higher. Took out the previous daily high from early. Actually, we gapped up above it. So yeah, US 30 still lagging, not pushing as much as the rest. SPX 500 created a new all-time high today. I think we got above 7,000 for the first time on this index. So yeah, that is it on the higher time frame. Going down now to the 1 hour time frame. This is what we look like. Still pushing. Gapped up and just continued running. Pull back in the New York, didn't get any much follow through. So today's action was a bit weird. You know, we had Powell speaking in the afternoon and we got a little reaction from that, but not much because he didn't cut the interest rate or raise. He just held firm. So bit of a lackluster reaction there from the markets. Gold still running up because of that. So without further, let me just look at the 15-minute here. 15-minute on Nasdaq. So this is where we started out. Like I said, we gap up and we just continued pushing. Right around midnight, we started trading sideways going into London. We had a slight pullback. What? No, I'm looking at the wrong part. Oh, it's actually over here. Looking at the wrong part of the chart. Let me zoom in this a little bit more. So this is today's price action. So gap up here, ran up during Asia, Late Asia going into London, we had a sideway, a little bit of a pullback, and then we continued. I think we had some type of news here during London session cause us to gap and run, pull back into the gap later on, and then we made an attempt for the highs again, didn't make it up there. And so going into late New York, we going into late London, midday London, early New York, we had a sell off going into the main session. So this sell off brought us down back to the new day opening gap, and that's where we traded for most of the day. Keep bouncing out of it, get into the highs, um, and then we sold off again and see where we at currently. So we ended the day at these highs right here, and then we dropped. I think this was from some type of earnings report or so, but this was the reaction for Powell right here. So not much reaction there. So early out, let me get into the trades from early out. So this, I was looking at this, it was the opening of the 7 o'clock candle. No manipulation during this zone, just straight buys, not even a week. Right here again, no manipulation, just continuing higher before pulling back. So we close this candle as a doji, and then we had a next one here. Opening here, push up a little bit, and then sideways movement. I went to bed right around here. Pull back again into this little zone. I think it's a 15-minute fair value gap it's showing, and then we just started going up. During London session, late Asia to London, we get an entry for the buys as well. And then now London session, we had a gap up and a buy. This is actually Frankfurt. London is a little bit down here. So we had an inversion in London, selling off a little bit, and another sell entry right here on the lower time frame here. Pull back, came down. Not much of an entry here, but we came back in to fill this volume imbalance. I have it as a volume imbalance on my chart before we create a little market maker buy model and decided to buy up from there. So this was where we bought from in late London, late part of the night, early morning for me. Didn't take any trades there, and then we just went all the way up before selling off right at 7. So we traded back into the highs and then came back down, came back into this fair value gap and sold again. So this would have been the high for this part of the session, coming all the way down. So actually could have taken a sell from right around 8 and held it all the way until midday, providing you didn't go break even, because you know the injection coming at 9:30. So 9:30 give us a little bit of a up and down movement. As you know, 10 a.m. candle gave us a manipulation. So looking at this now, I see we had a 10 a.m. entry here. So for the 10 a.m. candle, started up here, right here. Not much of a manipulation really, but we got an entry during this macro for a sell. So sell right here, coming all the way down. 10 a.m. silver bullet entry right here as well. Another entry right here coming down. By the time we got to 11, realized we're selling off. So this was a nice entry as well, coming down. And by the time we got to lunchtime, had an inversion, and then we decided to buy. By this time, you would have made a decent enough profit to call it a day. So this is over 150 points. Yeah, 150 point drop, and then we decided to range out going into NY PM session. So the PM session, just consolidation. This was right around when we had the rate decision from Jerome Powell, sideways movement, little bit of a reaction, and then now when we got to the end here, I think we had an earnings report here, and this is what caused us to spike down to this low. So this low all the way down here during the you consider this power hour still. Power hour from the end right here coming down before we finally back up. And then now this is what we're doing now for Asian session. So pretty lackluster day, not much great opportunities, but still there were some. So that is really it for today's video. I will catch you guys tomorrow, Thursday, and then we see what the end of the week brings. So this is the end of the week and the end of the month. Kind of want January to be just done and over with because it wasn't the kindest to me. But let us see going forward. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you. Peace.